Brixton Metals, ticker BBB on the TSX Venture, is exploring the gigantic Thorn-Projekt in British Columbia. On the one hand, the company led by CEO Gary Thompson is on the hunt for large copper porphyry systems, but on the other hand, Brixton has also been producing spectacular hits from its gold target Trapper. And that's what we're going to talk to Gary about today. Welcome, Gary.
Hi there. Good to be here.
Gary, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I imagine it's been a bit hectic after your spectacular news a couple of days ago. Before we go into the details, though, please give our audience a short overview of your Thorn-Projekt. I think now the largest contiguous mineral claim block in British Columbia.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a very large, just under 3,000 square kilometer mineral claim holding, which is the largest in British Columbia held by any company. And it really is a project that has, I think we've identified 14 different large-scale target areas. So lots of upside, lots of potential. And we feel like even though we've been at this project for almost more than 10 years now, it's really morphed into quite a massive project. And most of the work that we've been doing is really focused on, I would say, the top four target areas of the project: porphyry, copper, gold, and we're finding we've got a sedimentary hosted gold system. We've got this new Trapper target, which is more of a gold silver target, although there may be some copper porphyry related to that as well. So it really is a district scale project with, we believe, that has the potential for many long life mines, and we think that's something that the big companies are going to want to own at some point.
Well, it's still a ways off until then. But of course, you have been having a lot of success lately with your drilling, especially at the gold target Trapper you mentioned. So please give us an overview of what you have there. You alluded to it a bit already.
Yeah, so we're this year, 2022, we're fully funded for the 15 to 20,000 meter program that we've laid out. So we're in good shape budget-wise. And the main focus for the budget this year is largely drilling the Camp Creek porphyry, which we've yet to release results on that this year, partly because they're long holes, so it takes longer to get those all the assays back on that. So Camp Creek and Trapper are really taking up the bulk of the budget, and then we are drilling I think 3 or 4 holes on the Outlaw target, which is a sedimentary hosted gold target, gold and silver. Again, that's a 5 kilometer gold anomaly in its own right. But Trapper, I would say, it's really been taking the limelight, certainly for a couple of reasons. One, and we only acquired that project in 2020. We've got this massive 80 kilometer trend, but there's some blocks in there that we didn't own. And one was the Trapper claims, which we acquired from Kodiak Copper in 2020. So 2021 was the first program that Brixton conducted in Trapper, and we're very successful. The initial rock sampling that we had collected in what we're calling the Inlock Creek area returned up to 135 gram gold at surface sampling with some visible gold in surface rocks. So we conducted our first program last year. We drilled about 15 holes, and we're successful in what we think was a new discovery. We drilled 139 meters of about 2 grams gold in hole 186. And within that, there were some very high grade subintervals, like 11 meters and 19 grams gold. And then this year we went back in there and we took about 120 meter step to the west. What looks like there's a bit of an east-west, sort of sub-northwest trend. And we're successful in pulling the hole that we announced last week, which is pretty remarkable drill intercept, 64 meters of almost 6 grams of gold. And it doesn't really matter how you cut that interval, and we looked at it many different ways. There's 50 meters of almost 7 grams within that, almost 30 meters of 10 grams, and then you can just chop and change it further down from that. So pretty remarkable hole. I think it's one of the best drill intercepts for the mining sector in 2022. And obviously, we'd like to drill more like that or better. And
Sure.
now we're taking another step to the west. So we'll continue to expand it basically west, east, and then see where this thing goes at depth, and see what kind of scale we can wrap around it. So I think there's basically a lot of drill holes yet to come from that target.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next, because I mean, as you said, it's this last spectacular hole wasn't the first one that delivered for the company from that target, and of course you want to see or find out more about that. So as you said, you're going to step out in a couple of directions, but how long is that going to take? Are there still results from drilling that you already did? Can you tell us a bit what's to come over the next couple of weeks and months?
Yeah, I think there is still 6 holes that are pending assays that we've completed. In the interim, we've actually jumped over to the Outlaw target. We've got 2 holes on that so far, and probably drill another 2 holes. So maybe another, not even a week or so, and then we'll be back over on Trapper. And the idea of that was just to allow for a bit more snow to melt. Interestingly, where camp is, I mean, camp was open in early May this year, and we were drilling by mid-May, mainly in the Camp Creek target, which is the big porphyry that we're after there, because there's no snow there. But about 7 or 10 kilometers to the south, which is where Trapper is, there's still a fair whack of snow left. That's starting to peel off now. They've had some really warm weather and some warm rains. So, within the next week or so, we'll be back drilling at Trapper, and we've got a series of holes planned to further expand the target. And so it's a process going to run. We'll basically be drilling here probably till September, October, depending on when Old Man Winter wants to come back at us. So it is seasonal, but we've got a good window. I'd say we're fully funded for the exploration program that we're doing this year.
So you're saying you want to see what you got there, but is that for you, so to speak, internally, or will you be able to get enough data to perhaps towards the end of the year come up with a resource? Or is that too early?
Yeah, I think it's too early for thinking about a resource. We're still trying to find the limits of the zone, and most of the drilling's been quite shallow here. Again, just to remind you that last year was our first program. We only had 15 holes in it. We'll see how many we can get done this year. But it is a fairly concentrated effort. So I would say we'll have a better idea after this season of drilling what we might be able to expect in 2023. Ultimately, we want to get this thing into resource category as soon as possible. So I hate to say specifically when that'll happen, but once we get this season's worth of drilling behind us, we'll have a better idea where this thing is going.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, of course. Now everybody, the market is looking forward to see what this is with all the great results and the high grade that you unearthed there. And of course, when you published the latest results, the market reaction was initially very positive, and then I read a couple of days later, I think I only read it then, that billionaire mining investor Eric Sprott sold some of his shareholdings in Brixton. Can you explain? Do you think a billionaire like him just needed a bit of cash too?
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. Yeah, we're a little disappointed to see Eric carve off 5 million shares on the day of the release. It really capped our momentum off that hole. We traded 8.5 million shares that day. 5 of that was Eric selling. So I think it's just if I can speculate, it's just a liquidity issue. Getting into junior companies is easy, but getting out maybe not so easy. But I guess on the upside is that Brixton was able to trade that And if you look at our trades over the last year, I think we've traded almost 60 million shares year to date. So fairly good liquidity for the size of the company. So I guess that's a positive. And, you know, I mean, I guess the way I look at these things is everybody buys these shares to sell them one day, hopefully at a profit. But in this market, I think getting out, some people think that's a win too. So not much we can do about it. It's unfortunate, and it's not what we want to see. But I think we just keep doing what we're doing and drilling these big holes, and eventually we'll get some reward for that.
I certainly think so too. So you would say, or you could say, that now is a pretty good point in time to have a closer look at Brixton if you haven't been looking at the company already, because you have made a lot of progress, and of course you don't get much reward for it in a market like it is. So if things turn around, if the price of gold turns around, the market sentiment gets better, then you should be in a good position.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, we basically are flat from a spectacular drill hole, which is discouraging. But the fact that we have that, and we're going to follow up that with more like that, we think we're better. That's encouraging. We still have some very big holes to come out of the Camp Creek porphyry. We're drilling target depth of 1,500 meters. So we're looking for some big copper gold porphyry holes to come out of Camp Creek, which we're drilling. And the company's fully financed, so we're not in a desperate situation to have to go back to market in this current environment. So yeah, I think we're in a good position. We're, you know, pretty low on a value curve, relatively cheap, I would say, to our peers, and I think it's a good opportunity to take a position in Brixton ahead of the next round of results.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking time talking to us. Certainly sounds like a good closing remark. And I'll be sure we'll talk again after the next drill results. And hopefully it's another big hole like the last one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you. Appreciate it.